Today we have, this is the second annual summit that we have for rural Illinois. And we want people to understand that rural Illinois and agriculture are together, but sometimes there is some differences between the two. But most of the attendees today are people of profession, but after our last conference, a lot of them indicated we need to know more about what the ag industry is doing to help with mental health and to how we can tie into those groups. So, as I said, our audience today is a lot of the professionals, and they're coming to hear what does ag industry have put together, which is kind of a unique opportunity. A lot of industries don't bring this to the forefront for their people, and Illinois has. And so a lot of them are asking, what are the resources that are available? How do we get in touch with some of the people? How do we, who are the people in our community that we need to make programming with? And where is mental health or well-being in the state of Illinois when it comes to rural Illinois?
That is an excellent question to ask also. Where are we? Because this has been going on for several years. Have we made progress?
We have made progress in the fact that I believe that it's a conversation that's more openly discussed than it had been previously. We still have a lot of work to do. The other thing is, too, you have to remember agriculture has what we call chronic concerns. You know, farmers year in and year out, the crops, the rain, et cetera, and that. But we also have some things that are actually happened within the last couple of years that farmers are really starting to struggle with. One of them is, again, that generational move from those people that are maybe in their 70s, 80s to the new generation take over the farm. Sometimes that means that there isn't enough money to purchase the farm for one of the siblings that may want to farm and everybody else. So there's some real concerns when it comes to that. Also, a lot of our area, especially down in our area in southern Illinois, we have influences, solar panels. We also have industrial development that is taking over some of the prime farmlands. And it's real hard when they start selling farm ground by the square foot versus an acre for you to be able to farm and continue that operation. So again, and part of it too, tariffs, prices of equipment, input costs, et cetera. Those things right now, and for, again, parts of Illinois, the rain, because there are places that just have nothing in.
Farmers probably aren't going to the door to seek help very fast, and that's probably one of the main issues that you have to deal with.
That's true. And we know that they're not going to knock on the door and say, I need help. They're not that kind of people. It is a culture of put on the bootstraps, we're going to suck it up. What we've tried to do, not only us and the counterparts that we work with, take the programming to those people where they are at. We do a lot. I have had a lot more success when we go to some of the farm shows and being able to talk one-on-one. They're very okay with talking with you on that respect, but not when they're in a group setting. So that's number one. Second is that we also try to encourage the family members, either the children or the wives. And those seem to be much more receptive about opening up, being able to talk, or directing their spouse to come in and say, I need to talk. Instance, I had one gentleman that came, he and his father had farmed. He is in his early 60s, his father was in his 80s. The young gentleman at 60 had never made a managerial decision on the farm for himself. Dad had always done that, and Dad became ill. Now all of a sudden, at 60 years old, he's trying to make some decisions, and he was beside himself. And so he and I talked, we got some assistance for him and that kind of thing, and got some people to help work with him in his community, but that's hard for that person to ask for that reach.
If there is some farmer who says, I think I need some help, or a spouse who says he needs some help, where does somebody go to start with that? Where's the first thing they look for?
Okay. I say that depending on what the situation is, as far as is it an immediate, we need to get them professional help. And that means either go ahead and contacting those people within the community, or the Farm Family Resource Center has a 1-800 number that is dedicated to farm families and rural Illinois residents. The people they can talk the talk, so they understand the problems that are facing, and then we can go ahead and we can make a referral. That's one of the ways that we can go ahead and work. There's also some other programs that we're going to be talking about. If you're like, I just want to know a little bit more about what is offered out there, organizations like Farm Bureau, the FFA chapters, some of them have really become very cognizant of the concern, and they're carrying those messages back home to their parents. And even at the college level, there's a couple of different groups that have started that kids are going, hey, Mom and Dad, did you know about this? And so I think if we can encourage that to happen, it opens the door for that conversation to happen at home embryonically, and then they will start to seek some help.
You mentioned an 800 number. What is that number? That's something that we probably need to get here. It's, 833 FARM SOS? Is that
That is it.
FARM SOS. So 1-833 FARM SOS.
Yes.
Now, who set that? What organization set that up?
Actually, it's part of the Farm Family Resource Initiative, but it actually coincides with the 911. So we're using some of their technology to actually utilize or use it. So it is a collaborative effort between both organizations and that. But as I indicated, the people that answer these questions are professionals, but they also are versed, either been instructed or are part of the farming community. So they know what it's like to have the difficulties that farm families face.